Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teacher Soup. Today I have with me Jared.
How you doing?
And today we're doing some more Superman stories as we go into Kurt Busiek's Camelot Falls. A big story he wanted to tell, and he finally got to tell during his post-Infinite Crisis era run on Superman. While Jeff Johns was on action, he was on the main book with the now late but great Carlos Pacheco at artwork. Carlos, he's one of those artists that both made it his own, but he also had a style very similar to George Perez.
Yeah, it's very, from what I'm seeing so far on the cover, it's very Perez-y.
And both of them had that, but they were still made it their own. I mean, there's part of the reason why when during the Busiek Perez era, you had Carlos doing Avengers Forever with Busiek. But yeah, so we open up in Metropolis. Now, basically, this is a prelude, issue before the main arc gets going. But we open up with Lois and
oh no, I'd rather be Diana, but I'll take it.
This is pre-New 52. Deal with it.
Unfortunately, all right.
Yeah. Hey, Clark, are you here? Yeah, like, oh, honey, not tell. Basically, she tried to make breakfast. He tried to make breakfast ahead of time, like eggs and Florentine, my favorite, when they haven't been burnt to a crisp. Even a card on our special day. That's sweet, but interrupt with a bulletin. Superman has been sighted over Midtown Metropolis. And, that covers that. And, just look at this artwork.
That is so badass.
Mondays, you try to get things to go smoothly, but somehow Mondays always manage to smack you in the face, getting around it. And it's just the way they are. This particular Monday, though, it's sort of an anniversary for Lois and me, an important day for us. We try to do something special every year to mark it. This year, I wanted to surprise her with breakfast in bed, but Mondays. So, Superman agrees with Garfield. Hate Mondays.
Well, everyone hates Mondays, so there you go.
Nice to have him back, huh? Oh, yeah. Look out, Superman. Look out. That bummer. He going to... Neutron's been working for Intergang. They've got pretty strongly established in Metropolis while I was gone. But since my return, I've made it a priority. So, yeah, he's putting up a good fight against him. Now, because this is going to be pretty dialogue heavy, I'm not going to read every bit of dialogue here.
Otherwise, we'll be here for like a couple of hours.
Yep. But then all of a sudden his energy is being drained by the Metropolis, the science police, as they put it. I know people call them the science police. It's a screwy nickname, but who am I to criticize? They get the job done. But yeah, they basically drain him and everything, and then I'm already late for an appointment. You know how it is. Mondays. Mannheim, There have been reports that Bruno Ugly Mannheim is back and behind Intergang's expansion efforts here and around the world. No actual sightings of him, not in his favorite eateries or the Mediterranean resorts he used to frequent. If Mannheim's back, it's worth looking into. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm a little late. There was a morning staff meeting starts at 8:10 sharp, Kent. You've been here long enough to know that. I have a story. I saw Superman fighting Neutron over in Metro Square. I've got my notes right. Notes? Stories already in rewrite, Kent. Bratton covered it. If you'd called in, you'd have known that too. We have assignments and beats around here for a reason. I did try to call, but my cell phone, I don't like disappointing Perry, but it's necessary. I got to reestablish Clark as erratic, prone to irregular absences. Okay, one thing I will say this though, this is one of the few kids who I'll say this, I prefer Busiek's Perry over Jeff Johns, because Jeff Johns, one of the downsides I had on his run, I went over this with Tristan, was he was trying to make Perry be more reverting to the Donner version, but that meant throwing out all the character growth to the point where he even asked, why the hell did Lois marry him? When it's like, you should know why, Perry!
Yeah, that's kind of odd. I get where Jeff Johns was coming from, considering the fact that he was co-writing a lot of those stories with Donner, and he was very influenced by Donner, so I can see where he's coming from, but you can't ignore the character development in the comics.
Even if you could say, it was Infinite Crisis, it tweaked the history, despite that, he shouldn't be, like, Clark was always his best reporter, and that's one thing I still always liked about Infinite Crisis. It didn't revert. It just added.
Yeah, Infinite Crisis is like my favorite Crisis of all of them.
Hands down. I mean, I like Dark Crisis, but Infinite Crisis, my favorite. Then of course, Crisis. Well, no, actually, Crisis on Infinite Earths, classic. You can't beat that.
Can't beat that. My favorite mode of Infinite Crisis is when Golden Age Soups is talking to our Soups, and he goes, "My world was perfect," and then our guy was like,
"A perfect world does not need a Superman."
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Yeah, I love that."
But I gotta say though, it works better when you read the tie-in 3 issues where they swapped worlds.
I need
during their fight.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go over that next time. Next time we'll go over that. Because you will love that. That is one of my favorite Superman stories, is that particular one. And it shows the difference between post-crisis and pre-crisis.
I love that. 100% I'm down for that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Perry. Didn't think it through. You really should have been here, too. A couple of old girlfriends of yours have popped up in the news. Oh, Lois is noticing.
Oh, no. Lois is getting jelly.
No, actually... Yep, we'll see. LexCorp will be announcing their new CEO tomorrow. Now, they've formally ousted Luther. You may recognize the name. I believe you took her to the prom.
Oh, jeez.
I've been wondering what she'd do with her life, but this is a surprise. I'll say, Burns covering the announcement, but I want a profile piece of her for Friday. I think you're the man to write it. At least I hope you are. I'll do my that's not all. Can you tell me why Dr. Karen Lalewin, the world's foremost arcanobiologist, would ask specifically for you to be the planet reporter sent to cover a big hush-hush project she's been working on in Kazakhstan? Kelly? Kelly? No. I don't know why she'd ask for me, but I'd be glad to. Sure you would. It's a plum assignment, like the Lang feature. But I'm not sure you deserve any plum assignments. Not right now. So here's the deal. Today, you get all the crappy assignments, all the scut work, the boring idiot chunk everyone else gets to get out of. If they're all done, all on my desk by day's end, you get those 2 assignments. If not, they go to someone else. Understood? That sounds perfectly fair. I don't care whether you approve, just whether you do it. I'll drop a list on your desk. If only Neutron hit an hour later, or earlier even. But things should get easier once I've got Intergang cleaned out. You think so? No, not really. Look, sorry about breakfast. How about an anniversary lunch at Dynasty? Say 1:30? Dynasty? General Tso's extra spicy? You're on, Smallville. But in the meantime, Carolyn Lolalen? Yeah, I never mentioned her, I guess. I knew her before I came to Metropolis. When I was traveling around the world, haven't heard from her in years. Apparently, the Nobel Committee's been talking about her a lot, from what rumors are coming out of Stockholm. But she's quite the hot number, I hear. Is she? I had it. Oh, yeah, brains and looks. But you could tell me all about her at lunch. 1:30. Anniversary, huh? Not your wedding. I know that. First date? No. First kiss? No. First time you two ever? Jimmy! Well.
That's so Jimmy.
But, and look at that smile on him. He's just like,
Gotta love that. That's why I always say Jimmy is one of the characters you cannot exclude from Superman.
Same with Lois.
Yes, 100%. Because here's the thing. I acknowledge that she plays a very important role in Superman. I'm not saying eliminate the character completely.
Oh, I know. We're not getting into that.
I just want to be clear on that. But yes, both of them are important to a degree.
But here's the thing, though. You gotta remember this, though. Like, I want to have a nice lunch with my wife, settle her mind about Callie, and I want those assignments. Because see about this. He's on a deadline here. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't get the list done, he ain't getting those assignments.
Man.
Oh, I love the details, like the saxophone player. I love that.
That is incredible. Yeah, I love that. I love high detail artists.
Yep. I mean, Perez would do that. They would give him a couple of characters. He would add a bunch more. Then it bit him in the ass with Legion of 3 World, where it's like, okay, draw all these characters. Wait, all of them? Ugh.
It's like I'm reading Perez Wonder Woman right now, and it's like he puts like so much stuff in here. I'm like, what?
If I can tell you one thing, though, I think what helped Perez in that was Karen Berger's editorial, because reading his Sirens book he did, it's kind of incomprehensible to read. I think he's the type of artist who is good, but he needs a good editor to make sure he makes it make sense. Otherwise, he will get all gobbledygooky.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, of course, while he is doing one of the assignments, Intergang with their camouflage squad. So yeah, he takes care of that. I kept 1 year on the committee report the whole time. Just get me to a typewriter and I can finish the story, no problem. I'll keep listening for the spears too, but I hope that's the last of them. Nope, he keeps getting interrupted.
I love that.
Yeah, but for him, this is the day he doesn't want that to happen.
I know, he kind of has the Peter Parker Spider-Man luck right now.
And look, I think Busiek is one of the best writers for pranksters.
He is 100%.
Yep. Dare you propose? Nah. Dare you buy a condo? Nah. First date? Clark, I make it back to my office. Try to organize what notes I have. Scribble down some new ones. I try to get some of the pieces started, but I've got to make that rescheduled interview. Cover a charity tag sale. Meet with the head of the Dog Catchers Association. Sorry, Lois. I'll think of something to make up for lunch. I've got to run. Not doing so well today, is he? So again, he's trying to juggle everything, but then nobody move. I'm taking you all. Mannheim. What the hell?
Wow, Mannheim kind of grew.
Hello, Superman. I've wondered when you'd drop by. The last time I saw Mannheim, he was caught in a collapsing boom tube in the midst of teleporting out of Metropolis. I thought he was dead until he popped up in Gotham last year during 52.
Okay.
Yep, you made it unprofitable to operate Metropolis, hero, so we're pulling out. But not quietly. Once the core catastrophe mirrors my heartbeat, catastrophe. Sorry, Mannheim, but anything that sounds with a name like that doesn't sound like something you should and be under your control. What? No, you can't. If it's out of range for too long, I'll lose the link. The subsphere will go inert. Sounds like a plan. You little, I'll pop you like a grape. Reclaim the spear over your broken, bleeding. No, Mannheim, you won't. But if you could, even if you could, I'm no pushover. It'd take you too long. You lose whatever link you have to that thing. In fact, I think I can make sure you don't go anywhere. Ah, my feet, you sniveling little punko. Unfortunately, this never gets resolved.
Wow,
this
really?
never gets resolved. Now, he was working with someone that wasn't Darkseid, and then he gets taken away. But unfortunately, yeah, this is one of the few you never see Mannheim again throughout the rest of the pre-New 52 era.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if Mannheim's always comes out of the woodwork once in a while type villain.
Mm-hmm.
But then he makes it back home and he feels like his deadline passed more than an hour ago. Perry's already gone home and then Burns, the night editor, has taken over. I found less than half the stories I needed to. I won't get those assignments. But then, hi, honey. Hard day. For what? Come in. You don't want old Mrs. Schwartz walking by, not while I'm dressed like this. And you might want to check that folder in your briefcase. Huh? That's just my notes for the articles. What? The articles? They're all here. All completed. I took what notes you pulled together, made a couple of calls, finished the pieces, fed them into your system under your editing code. Of course, I had to split a few infinitives, clunk up a few sentences so Perry think it was you. After all that was Lana and Kelly, and I screwed up breakfast and lunch, I do tap into the police bands on my handheld, you know. You were busy. You save millions of people on a regular basis. So if I get to save you once in a while, it's only fair. As for the rest, for an environmental man, you're so easy to needle. I know you. I trust you with anyone, anywhere. Now, come on. And dinner will be here from La Plume in 20 minutes. So we've just got time for a dance. Ah, Mr. Kent, I love this. And I love you. What a coincidence, Mrs. Kent. 12 years. Has it really been 12 years since our first flight together?
Wow.
Now look at that. She saved his butt. But in a way, but she's still doing it in a way that, again, this writing is good. That's why I love this writing of Lois. And come on, dude. You cannot deny that that's something that's exclusively for Lois.
What do you mean?
If she wasn't there, he would have not been able to get those assignments.
Yeah, super speed. He can super speed. Right
He tried. But again, he made it back. By the time he made it back, the deadline was passed. This was all the stuff he could do even without super speed. I mean, even with super speed. He couldn't. It was just too busy of a day.
I guess in this occasion, I'll give you that. That this is well written. I'll give you that.
Exactly. And come on, could Diana do that? She wouldn't know how to do it right, and even if she did, it wouldn't be something that
she writes her own. She writes a lot of her own speeches.
But would it be something that could she fake it and make it look like something Clark would write?
If she knows him well enough, she will be able to figure out how Clark sounds when he writes. Yeah, I'm 100% sure.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But Kira, and again, the first anniversary of their first flight.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
It's and well again, drawn, I will give you that. Like, wow.
Yep. And hey, she's not jealous. She knows it. Like, I trust you. She was just needling him a little, like messing with him. But meanwhile, then we see this one character in Kazakhstan named Subject 17. Who is that? We won't know yet, and not till the next issue.
He looks like a dark side character.
Kinda, sorta, not really.
Okay.
But yeah, I miss when they had dialogue on covers, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit. I like this a lot.
It's all right, miss. You're safe. Now, yeah, that's Callie. No, you don't understand. No, it's safe. It's loose. Meanwhile, we open in 1659. This is Arion of Atlantis.
Okay, Atlantis. There you go. That explains it.
Yeah, but it's Arion. You remember who? You know who he is?
Who?
He's a magic guy. He's the guy who, back when they were still trying to figure out what to do with Power Girl, it was claimed that she was his descendant.
Oh.
One of her many reworking of origins.
Okay.
Yeah, he opens up and he wakes up with a dream about Camelot Falls. And he's going through, and basically this is Arion at the peak of his ego. Of it, where he feels above everyone. So he feels like he thinks he knows. Throughout all of this, he thinks he knows what's best. So he's going to study on Earth, on the in the future. Even wondering, like, where is my future self? Dead, by the way. But now, okay, I love this. That was the cover to a few issues prior. The in-between arc between Up, and Away and this arc.
And can I say, I love how the font on Action is the same one for Action Comics. That is so good.
Well, yeah, it's called Action Bulletin News.
Yeah, I love that. That's so meta.
That's exactly the cover. He's back, but is he a fraud? And this guy even says, like, hey, Kent, thought that was you. You take this plane, you'd wipe out half the reporters on the Eastern Seaboard, huh? I'm Lowell Jeffries of Action Bulletin News, your daily news bullet. And maybe you've seen my work. I got the front page on this one. He's back, but is he a fraud? I've seen it, Jeffries. What do you want? Not a fan, huh? No biggie. Look, I thought you might give me the inside dope. Just you and me, on a rumor about this gal scientist we're all going to see. Rumor said you two used to be a hot item, and now she's asked you out for a distant rendezvous far from your wife, Look, Mr. Jeffrey, I don't like your paper, and I don't think I like you. Callie and Leolyn and I knew each other years ago, but we were never more than colleagues. That's all there is to it, He's towering over him! Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to get back to my book. Sure, Ken, sure. No offense, Callie, huh? Pet nicknames and everything, huh? But he tried to get back to the book, but he can't. Not with the, he's not into it now, and he's got him thinking about Callie. But then he thinks back to his interview with, talk he had with Lana. And I should point out that despite the fact that Rucka seemed to get them back together by the end of his run, this made very clear, Pete and Lana divorced. And Lana would get way more handling. Pete's been mostly shuffled off with their son Clark. But yeah, basically we find out why did she get the job? It's because of all the connections and boards she was on during the time as the wife of the VP.
Okay, that makes sense.
Remember, Pete was the vice president to Lex.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why, and all this for a positive face with her. And yeah, so they're just talking and just like, you run into trouble, just yell and I'll be there. But then it turns out one thing that bothers me though is that he's like, he doesn't call him Clark anymore. He calls him Butch or Buster, but never Clark. I'm like, okay, Pete would never be that petty.
Oh, wow.
Pete would, and now granted, Pete does know the truth by this point.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was another thing Rucka did. Rucka had it be that Lex, turns out, during that brief window when Lex found out that Clark was Superman, thanks to Manchester Black, he told Pete.
Does Lana know at this point?
By this point, Lana's always known in post-crisis.
Oh, yeah. She was the first person he told, right?
Yeah, or found out. But yeah, she's known for the longest time. But basically, like, I have all these powers. I'm going to go up now, leaving her hanging and having to hold on to that secret. That was still nasty of him.
Yeah, I'm going to go date an immortal Amazon over there in Metropolis.
No. First of all, remember, he did. And remember this. Wonder Woman didn't show up until Superman was in the more present day. So by the time he left, Lois and Wonder Woman was not around.
I know. I'm making a joke. Don't worry about it.
I know. Sorry. I just wanted to correct things, but
so good.
Yep, but yeah. So of course, showing that they still have this good friendship and everything. So they head up. Yeah, but of course, he has to head on out there to go deal with stuff. So he's thinking back to both of these, but then meanwhile, oh
boy,
Clark, please get here soon. She's hoping now. She's just saying in joke. She's not saying this hoping he hears because she doesn't know.
Okay. So it's like one of those things where like she's delirious and she's like, Clark, if you can hear me, I need you.
Yeah, but it's more like this muttering, like, please get here soon. It's more like, I need your help. That's all she's saying. It's like, get here. It's like hoping that him and anyone else, because he's the only one she asked to come.
Mm-hmm.
So she's hoping that he'll get there, be like, oh my gosh, run in and help. But, of course, but here's what look at this. He then claims, my stomach's acting up. So he actually goes back there, sneaks in, opens up the landing gear, then reseals it. It does cause a little bit of turbulence, but it's back to good as he flies off.
Good God.
But hey, how did he to get off?
He could have decompressed the entire plane.
No, but doing it down there, doing it very quickly, it's able to do it and that's less likely to decompress the whole plane than if you open up the front door.
True. It's like, okay.
Not that though, but it would have kept it contained. You do know that even when something like that area is decompressed, it's able to keep a bit of a balance.
All right, that makes sense. I will say doing a high altitude jump pretty much with Superman is super cool.
Yep. But yeah, goes and helps her and everything, gets her out of there. Again, I could read all this, but you can see why I said I got to breathe through this.
Yeah, because it's like, this is almost at a level of Bendis in terms of dialogue.
But better.
But way better dialogue. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they gotta get out, and then he gets hit by, and all the while, like, I'll be fine. What is that thing? That's what I need to tell you about. Why we needed you. I can fill you in once you have a chance to stop and listen. No time for that. No need either. Just talk, Dr. Lewin. I'll hear you. And I love that. That's exactly what she does.
Yeah, that works. I like that because with the super hearing and stuff.
Yeah, Busiek really loves to take advantage of that. Just talk while I'm flying.
Yep, that worked. I like it.
So basically, this is what brought her in. Turns out this was an old Soviet base that found this alien and kept it. They were always testing on it, experimenting on it. And then she was brought in. And she even says, like, I worked with very little data, trying to reconstruct a bigger picture from the known facts, however few. What I deal with is invariably alien, ancient, or unknown. My job was to supervise the dismantling of the lab, do it quickly, safely, so they could move the creature without killing it. I had to figure out as much as I could about the subject 17, from the chemicals they were keeping him unconscious without disturbing him. But the old equipment was old. The power was failing. So in other words, it failed and he broke out, and just look at that.
That looks so badass.
All the while this is going on, morons, idiots. Don't they know and what they're tampering with? What forces they're throwing in the turmoil? No, I suppose they don't, do they? And I'm I'm dead by then, less than 400 years from now? How absurdly inconvenient. Well, let's see if I can fix it up before it's all too late, But yeah, the fight goes to Central Asia, but come on.
I'm digging this.
Look at that.
Oh my god, that looks so cool.
Yep. But then West Australia. Kelly, I was hiking just around the point. I heard you scream. What happened? There was over there, Clark. Holy cow. And we find out Professor Lang, that's Lana's uncle. So they were all during college. Turns out her uncle's a professor. So yeah, they find this thing, and she gets to get the credit for it because she found it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the two of them were very good friends as colleagues, but you could definitely tell that was just all they were.
Mm-hmm.
But good enough to develop the nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it just me as Pacheco sometimes. Maybe it's the skin tone, but it makes Clark look a little Asian.
I was about to say that in that bottom right panel. I'm like, okay.
Oh, look at this in Serbia.
Oh boy.
Yep. Bola me, whatever he's speaking. Like, it speaks Serbian? Apparently it does. One sec. But yeah, so he goes and fights him. Meanwhile, Callie makes her way in and actually finds all the research and finds out what's going on. We have this nice talk between the two of them. And like, you're from Kansas, huh? Weren't there sightings around there about something? Come on, not the Superboy. Look, at every highway rest stop for miles around where I grew up, you can buy Superboy souvenirs. Hear stories about some guy who knew some guy who saw him. But nobody seems to have seen him with their own eyes. Seriously, he's like the Sasquatch of the Midwest. So you don't think he exists? Again, and I love it. Like, if this Superboy does exist, I think it'll be interesting to see what he's like when he's a full-grown man. I never knew whether she suspected or was just intrigued by the idea there might be a Superboy. I still don't. Maybe she just thinks I've met him so often enough. But it turns out she starts speaking out there, and we find out that in 1949, a ship had crash landed. And they found so many of them dead. The pilot dead. And look, that's clearly an Aliens reference.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But then they found also the female pregnant. They tried to help deliver the baby, but it turns out the yellow sun, much like a Kryptonian, hardened the skin.
That looks very disturbing.
It does. But yeah, they sedated him and they would just test him, experimenting on him for decades. Wow. I hear her list off a litany of the experiments they performed on the baby alien. Analyzing his organs, installing internal sensors, trying to duplicate skin to use his blood to create super soldiers. I can only imagine the horrors he endured. Oh. Basically, it says, almost like this sounds like what would have happened if Superman had landed in the Soviet Union, but didn't get raised properly before. And if he was found as a baby, they probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because remember, in Red Son, he landed as a baby, but was raised by a couple before then revealing himself.
This is kind of like what they do with Supergirl in the Flash movie, where she crash lands and then she's just taken in by like those Russian terrorists.
Yeah. But yeah, it eventually goes and finds a bunch of people and get them out. Did you stop him? Is it over? I need to show you these files. Sorry, Dr. Lillian, but I can't. You should go evacuate. That's when she realizes he's still going, but she says, he's a child, a damaged child. Try not to hurt him too much here. But first he has to head back and keep his cover. It's like, where's Ken? I haven't seen him since. I got to talking to one of the flight attendants in the rear of the cabin, Jeffries, and they sat there for landing. Why, miss me? Huh, line up a hot date, did you? It's funny. I heard some of the crew talking. Didn't catch it all, but I think they said something about our destination and explosions. Nothing like a lead on a story to distract reporters. Come on. Oh, man, my battery. Janet, check on this.
I love that.
But Ed finds them and no one sees it, but like, I feel you, see through you. You not like them, not monster, not human. You other alien, like subject, like me. Listen, I know you've been treated bad. Basically tries to argue, but basically he's so far gone because of how long he was experimented on.
But
Like, he just
I gotta say one thing. I love that image of like X-raying Superman.
Yeah. And when you look at it, there's clearly organs in there that aren't normal.
Mm-hmm.
No, you see that?
Yeah. That's interesting.
But no, they avoid the crotch.
Well, of course, because this isn't a Black Label book. But even if it's a Black Label book, they would freak out.
Subject kill you. Basically, he hates all humanity. Because
Well,
of
it makes sense considering how he was raised. That's the thing.
From birth.
That's what makes Flashpoint Superman so great, particularly when you factor in Flashpoint Beyond, where even after being tortured by humanity, he still wants to fight for humanity.
Exactly. Now, of course, to be fair, though, I don't think he was experimented on as intrusive as this.
True. It's like even New 52 Superman, if you remember in the early arcs, he got captured and tortured by the U.S. government. He still became Superman.
Yeah, but yeah, basically she sends him a frequency that could shut off his brain by doing that. So he mimics it and is able to knock him down and then keep on fighting him. All the while still talking to him, trying to tell him, like, I'm sorry for what you've been through, but that's not going to happen. But then he disappears as Arion shows up. You, Superman, alien, you are an idiot, sir. Do you not realize what you are bringing about with this senseless brawling? You must cease immediately. What? Who are you, and what have you done with Subject 17? To focus on trivialities as I might have expected. The limit is elsewhere, and no longer your concern. I am Arion of Atlantis. We must speak, sir, and you must obey me. I only pray I am not too late, or this world, and all who live upon it, are doomed to a living hell by your own ignorant hands. Now, the next 2 issues are going to be a flash forward.
Sweet.
But this is going to be one case where I am going to sum it up. Oh, look at that.
That is so dope. I love Parasite.
Yep. But yeah, so we see, it's Jimmy and Lois, and look what happened to Metropolis.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Whoa.
That is so phenomenal. Camelot Falls indeed.
I have one problem with this.
What?
Where the hell was the Justice League?
That gets explained, dude.
Oh, okay, good. I wanted to make sure about that because I was like, you'd think the League would show up.
Okay, now remember, this is in the year 2014. Now remember, by this point, this would have been 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So basically,
Oh, wow.
Yep. And basically, like, there's no view of the sun to measure, and since the worldwide pulse, there was a big pulse that occurred. They're attacked. We see this one guy named Sirocco, or the Desert Wind, I believe is what it is. He's there helping them out, fight them off. Oh yeah, we see Lois. Get away from them now, Lex, Rudy. But turns out Parasite still has the memories of Superman or Clark. He says, "Please, Lois, just once call me Clark."
Oh.
He's trying to carry on for as long as he can. Like, he said, like, I don't know how many times he said that. It's what makes him an ally, what makes him useful for us. Ever since he overloaded on Superman's power so many years back. I should be grateful, but just hearing that voice, so like his. So in other words, that's why he's good, because so much of Superman was copied over. But of course, he has to make sure he cannot do it too much to anyone else, or he'll lose Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he tries to help take the pain from Sirocco, he cannot take all of it. Otherwise, he will lose what he has left.
I just can't get over Superman as Parasite.
Well, Parasite is Superman more. It's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the other way around.
Okay.
Like I said, it's his copy of his personality. Remember, Parasite can copy personalities and memories too.
I did not know that. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, the longer he holds on to it, the more of a person's mind he can hold on to. That's why there are times when he remembers Clark. If he's able to know that Superman's Clark, Superman has to do all he can to make sure he times out.
Okay, that makes sense.
What? I have done as you asked, Superman. Come to the foul city, choked with oily smoke and tar. See what I mean about how arrogant he is?
Mm-hmm.
I have shown you and those you chose the danger, sir, shown you what come, and you have the gall to doubt me? I said we'd listen, Arion. I didn't say we'd just take your word for it. Those are my journals, or at least my handwriting. And fear not, woman. Pieces of those journals do not appear to all eyes. Your secrets and his are safe. This future you're showing us, it feels real, feels true. But it's just a possible future, right? One that might come to pass. It is the world that's coming, you jolly sack of guts, unless something is done about it. Hey, it's too late to stop it all, but it might be ameliorated, might be eased. If you clotpoles will only listen. Well, humor us clotpoles a little, Mr. Krabby. Why is it so bad? What's bringing this future about? I have been getting to that, woman, unless there are more interruptions. Very well. A storm is building, an old storm coming round yet again. And with it comes a rising tide of shadow, old enemies, grown darker, more dangerous, cataclysms, worse than you have known. Basically saying another crisis is coming. But even said, like, we just stopped the crisis like this. Turn back a tide. Anybody saying every time you stop a crisis, it comes back worse and worse.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's basically the whole punching it back. It's coming, but it comes back with more force. You punch it back, it comes back even harder. You punch
it's like
it back.
It's like every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction or something like that.
Yep, but he mentioned the next one's going to be with this guy named Kyber, who basically is going to be a scourge of the Muslim world. He's thought dead even by this point, but eventually he will return and gather up forces and basically getting ready to deal with everything, making it a worse crisis than before.
It looks like Blue Beetle.
Quite a bit, yeah. But basically, it's the world erupts in war. Basically saying this is going to be something even worse than before, even worse than Infinite Crisis. And then Superman would deal with him, and he would even lose so many. He would finally go up and fight him. And like, little guy, fool, cretin, mooncat, and calf. It is you, Superman, who bows him directly. You who strives against him, full of pointless, useless, righteous anger, as always, as if outrage will give you strength. Basically, they fight up harder and harder, but because Superman won't kill him, but Kyber won't care, he eventually punches Superman so hard back down to the earth, sends him down so hard. Look what happened.
Wow. That's well drawn, too.
Yep, but the crust cracks like an egg. Basically, it's what causes all this to happen.
Wow.
A nuclear winter without the nukes. And even like so many of the League keep getting killed, all for the society keeps getting taken out. And you have stuff like Cobra takes much of Asia, Atomic Skulls in the Andes. So many of them gain all this. And then, there's the League. There's Wonder Woman, which is actually, that outfit of hers is straight from Jeff Pacheco and Jeff Loeb, Superman Batman art from an alternate world where Superman and Batman were raised by the Legion of Supervillains into being despots.
I've heard that story. I haven't read it, but I like that.
Yep. But yeah, basically they're all meeting up there, and then Superman awakens, and he is pissed.
Oh, that looks so dope.
Yep. Well, all right, Superman's not dead. He's back. He's going to save the, sorry to interrupt, but Superman does save the day, right? There's something in the water, demonic humors, brain-eating parasites, perhaps. You have not been listening to a word I've said, young man. Yes, Superman's back. No, he does not save the day. In fact, he's about to make things much, much worse. What an ass Arion is! What an ass!
Well, yeah, but that was so cool.
Oh, it was. It was so
he
damn.
He comes out of the volcano looking pissed. That was straight up remind me of a Henry Cavill moment.
Yep. No further.
Oh, that's so good.
Right, they're fighting, but they're still losing. Yeah, so they're trying to deal with what they can. See, there's so much dialogue. Even Lois tells, like, Lois, Rudy, don't. Lois, please, just call me. And once call me. Stop it, Rudy. Just stop it. Think for once. You've held on to what you've absorbed as human for years. It's been needed, but you're running low. When you're running out, find more power. Absorb something else. Keep fighting. To do that, I'd have to let go of the rest. What he thought, what he felt. You're not him, Rudy. You're not Clark. You're not. Let it go. Be who you are and fight for us all. I'm not Clark. I know that. But what I feel, and they fought, and again, more and more still keep getting killed.
Wow.
So yeah, and Socorro is heading out to go and try and help out as he can. Unfortunately, then Parasite gets killed, and she actually does call him Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, Clark. So they send out everything they can, and then Kibber and is just dealing with so many of them. Even but then Surak, you'll face me. What? But I killed me? Yes, you almost did. My turn. But Surak still can't kill him.
Wow.
No matter what. He still will not go for a killing blow. No matter how angry he gets, no matter how bad he gets, he can't.
Hmm?
Like, I'm ending you, Kibber. No, I know what he would have said. I've heard this is how Lois said, Lois is writing, saying how I won't kill, I won't sink to their level. I love him for believing it. I always will. But he was hurt, damaged. His system overstressed using power it was never meant to hold. Basically, using all that power he had used from being in the core, it was never meant for his body.
It's kind of like how in Darkseid War he fell into the fire pits of Apocalypse and got inverted.
Yep. And then unfortunately he kills Superman, and then Socorro stops him. They stop, and together they're all taken care of. But unfortunately, then more people then come out of the woodwork trying to fill in the vacuum. That's when Lex died. And unfortunately, though, everyone eventually just whittles away until Jimmy was the last boy on Earth. Until he dies. And it's 2056 by that point.
Wow.
So even for 42 years, Earth never recovered. Do you doubt me? Do you doubt what I've shown you? No. It feels real. It feels honest. But maybe we can stop it. Stop Kibber, prevent him from. That won't work. You can stop him, maybe. But there will only be somebody else, something else. Maybe this week he's making the point, but he's saying how always you've had Camelot fell, Atlantis fell. And basically his whole point is saying, by stopping it all, you're making it worse. He's basically telling everyone, continue, and all the things you're holding humanity back. So it's like, the only way you can give is to give. You have to give up. For mankind to live, you have to let civilization fall.
Wow.
I see what I mean, though. But it is basically that whole must there be a Superman question again?
So in other words, he has to step back in order for mankind to survive.
But in this case, he has this basically said, let humanity get destroyed so we can come back stronger. Otherwise, you keep doing it, it's going to reach a point where there's no recovery.
Okay, so to a degree, I like that, but mostly
it's a story. Though, if you tell it, it's like, what's the point? Now, this is a different issue because you really know the ending.
Yeah, because we know who Superman is. We know what he's gonna do.
Exactly. Now, again, this is one of some of the filler issues, so I'm trying to skip through these.
But by the way, this is so far my favorite story we have covered so far.
I don't blame you. It is a great story. Up next, we have a Wonder Woman story with one artwork by, but unfortunately, it's not a good issue.
Oh, really?
Eduardo Barreto is great on artwork, but for some reason, I think it was whoever this Richard Hole came up with. They know this was just not a good story. Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on.
I think if you click on the X in the top corner, that should.
I should have done that. But I love this though. They fall asleep. It's a good
and there is Lois seething.
No, she's not seething. It's a good thing I'm a trusting woman.
Well, you shouldn't be, but okay.
Oh, unfortunately, we were supposed to get whatever happened to Crypto. That wouldn't be shown until a fill-in issue right before New 52.
Okay.
But now we get back to it here. As we're seeing, and meanwhile in Tibet, that's where the subject is. Subject 17 is. Meanwhile, we're seeing Power Girl. Now, during action, we were the Action 321 story arc. There was a guy known as the Auctioneer who then detected that there were 3 Kryptonians on Earth. And this was before Chris Kent showing up. So there's and Connor was dead and everything. So it's like it was picking up Superman, Supergirl, and some third one. Now he's scanning Power Girl, and unfortunately, even though she's a Kryptonian, scanners do not pick it up. Of course, she's saying, and hey, anytime you want to make me doubt my entire history and identity again, I'm your girl.
See, here's the funny part about this. With 3 Kryptonians, Earth should be like the safest planet in the galaxy.
Well, the third Kryptonian is in hiding.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, with this amount of power, no one should threaten Earth again.
True, but like I said, though, that's basically, it's supposed to be a post-crisis version of the Kristen Wells Superwoman.
Okay. I like that. That's cool.
But yeah, we get through a whole bunch of other things going, like he's going back over what happened. Meanwhile, then, in the future, he's again trying to figure out what to do. He is doubting himself because of what he was shown.
Which I like when Superman is occasionally placed in situations where he doubts his abilities, because I think that's a very humanizing moment for him. There are times where that goes a little too overboard, but I like it when it's done well, and it's done well here.
Yep. I don't know, Ariane. It's all a lot to believe. Oh, you believe it. You just need to deny it for a while before you face what must be done. Fine, do that. It's only the fate of mankind, after all. I'll give you 2 weeks, Aelin, but then I'll be back. Back for your decision. So yeah, like, Olsen, quit with the nature photography. You basically, they're all like, you asked me, the only question was whether you headline it, Nut Bar says Superman bad for humanity, or Mystic Man Nut Bar says humanity and Superman's bad for humanity. No, I don't mean what and do you think of it as a news item. I saw the squib and Lois wrote. It was fine. I mean, is he right? Is Superman a danger? Huh? No way, Clark. Superman's the best. The number of times he saved us all. Zip it a sec, Olsen. I'll give you a real answer, Ken. I don't much like predestination or the idea that anything's fated. I think men strive, and what happens, happens. But sometimes I wonder if men do all that much striving anymore. Or if it's Superman and that crowd doing the striving for us, making everything safe. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I can't believe you say that, Mr. White. It's not about Superman or us. Superman is us. He's one of us. Just because he wasn't born here, that's not what I meant, Olsen. Superman's a friend, a good friend, and a staunch ally, but you bet he is. And anyone wants to badmouth him, they got to go through me. Hey, simmer down, guys. Simmer down. You're both making fair points. Superman's part of our lives, our world, our culture. But you can't say he doesn't influence things, maybe even distort them. Well, what do you think, Clark? I don't know, Lois. Tell me the facts. I'll write a story. Ask me what people think. I'll get some quotes. But in the end, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what Superman thinks and what he decides to do. I like that's a good cover.
That's a really good cover. And by the way, here's the thing. Yeah, I can understand want to step back, but she has to well, I'm sure Superman understands. He's not only like the protector of humankind. He's the example for like every superhero that's on the Justice League and beyond.
Exactly. But I love that. But he goes to meet up with Zatanna. Why? Because it's Arion, the magic. What can you tell me about Arion of Atlantis? What, this guy? An immortal soul. Oh yeah, by the way, that's her secret Seven Soldiers of Victory outfit.
I like it.
In fact, it very much looks like Ryan Sook's artwork here. It looks like Carlos is mimicking that artwork style.
Mm-hmm.
Now we find out later on that this Arion that appeared during Infinite Crisis is a phony using the name. Okay. But he does use magic. He does use actual magic.
That makes sense.
But basically, he's been telling you something, and you're afraid he's put a mystic whammy on you to make you believe it. Sort of. The thing is, I do believe him, and I think I'm looking for a reason not to. Look, magic really isn't my area. Do you mind if I ask a few more questions? I've got all day, Superman. What do you want to know? So yeah, it tells him a lot about magic, and he goes to different areas. Like, I don't just have to decide to trust Arion. I head west. Basically, he's going to see that, and he meets up with the guy who becomes Socorro. He actually sees him, helps him out, and even says, like, yeah, like, I'm honored to meet you, Superman. I wish this guy got more. Just by looking at him, I'm not reading his dialogue, I can tell you, he looks like a good hero.
He does.
like Sirocco that doesn't win. That is a very good name, sir, man. I like it. I am still new to this. I've been planning to use Aldebaran, he who follows, to count myself as a pursuer of criminals. I like Sirocco better. There you go. I created a temporal paradox. A minor one, I hope. Sure, no problem. But they talk about it all, about everything. He tells about how he gets his abilities. I like it. They just take time out for this brief bit. It doesn't take too long.
Mm-hmm.
But he asked him about Kibber, and he said that he died long ago. Are you sure? You doubt me about the bloody-headed master of assassins, the Lord of Almut? You doubt my word? Then follow if you can. So he takes him over there and reveals where he was. This is Almut. And this is where an Ibn Sabas reigned in terror. That's the real name for Kibber.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as he thinks, yeah, he's dead. Of course, like, is Aryan lying? Could he be mistaken? So he's basically, oh, look, the three dimwits.
I love that. It's the Three Stooges.
Now, by this point, also, originally, Chris was supposed to only be there and gone by the end of last sum. But because of delays in that book, it was then decided Busiek would handle him until that story got resolved.
Oh, okay.
Hence why Chris is still around much longer, why they later would have him say, I got to meet Robin, even though in last song, you never had that meeting happen. Basically, the way they say it is, between John and Clark and Lois taking Chris to the planet, and before the Kryptonians attacked, there was a bigger time that took place. A bigger gap of time happened.
I hate when DC does that because it just complicates things.
True, but all this while, he's also still juggling setting up for the third Kryptonia arc. Hence why he's still juggling during, which I like. Where he's basically saying that would happen. Superman would be thinking about that while he's focused on this other thing. Okay. But then the new gods show up.
Oh boy, that's never good.
It is right before Countdown when they start getting, bumped off like flies, or around that point. But yeah, we see that current Arion in the Oblivion Bar just being, I'm awesome. Till that one shows up. The real one shows up. And basically tells him off, abducts him. What? Hey! And this occurs prior to Countdown 48. Hence why we still have Light Ray and all that. Basically, this is just a group of students ending up there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they zip around and everything while Superman's helping people out because of what's going on. And whoopsie! Basically, it's a group of students. They're meant to be having a game, but they didn't realize where they ended up. So Superman's trying to stop them. Because they need to, oh, Superman, thank you for rounding up some of my errant flock. My friend, I apologize for the unannounced visit. I cannot answer all of your questions, but I can answer some of them at least. Light Ray, good to see you. These are yours. I have that dubious honor, yes. Basically, it was supposed to be a field trip, but something brought him there. We later find out it was Arion who did it. Mm-hmm. The irresponsible godlings on Earth, literally children playing with the lives of others without concern for the damage it might do. I may just be able to guess what force might have wanted me to show me that. Oh! Mm-hmm. Of course, that's why Arion did that. Not the subtlest of metaphors, I'll admit, but I am dealing with a Kryptonian. Now, why did he not kill this guy? Because he reveals it about the 10th age of magic that's going on currently. So he basically feels like, okay, he also reveals how he died. He died during a storyline with in JSA. Okay. Mordo had killed him. So yeah, so that's how he's able to convince him to keep him around so he can tell him about this 10th age of magic. Like, so you have some use after all. Mm-hmm. But then they help out dealing with a bunch of the criminal, like, by the source. What? Baby chemos!
Oh, wow.
Yep. But yeah, basically tries to talk to him saying, I sense turmoil. The light within you that ordinarily shines clean and pure is muted. I'm not surprised. I've got a lot to think about. You need to. You must think about it and resolve it. Basically, I give him some good words as he goes meets up with Lana, finding out that basically they salvage a bunch of chemo stuff, and it was just gathering up stuff. Some experiments from leftover holdings from Lex, who caused it. Basically, not my fault. But like there's and then that you can't shut down all the projects because it's jobs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So she didn't know which ones are the good projects and which ones are the bad projects until it blows up.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, then, yeah, still talking with Lois, and like, you know what? What I want to know is why that pretentious, fancy dress snothead to tell anyone what they should do. Here's how I see it. You're here. You're ours. You're staying. He doesn't like it. Pop him one in the schnoz and tell him to take a hike. Maybe you're right. Not about the schnoz part, but look, why don't you take off? Don't worry about me. I'll do a little antiquing, take in Maine, but you're in no mood to have any fun. Go work it out. Again, see, this is an understanding, Lois.
Still.
It doesn't work. I try to remove myself from things. Yeah, he's trying to, but then a young girl falls off a roof, flies over there and catches her, and that's what puts them back into perspective.
Yep, there you go.
Yep, and they help clean everything up. And then you're like, you've reached a decision, Superman? I have. You say that I and Hawkman, Starfire, Martian Manhunter, and others are altering human destiny, holding back a natural wave of darkness that will end civilization, at least for a time. And if we continue to hold it back, then when it breaks through, it will have grown so strong that it will destroy all humanity. If we don't remove ourselves, letting millions die in the coming dark age, we'll be responsible for billions for the deaths of mankind. Succinctly put. I met a girl the other day. Hey, and she needed help, and I helped her. Of course, I helped her. I couldn't have stood by and watched her fall to her death. Not even if by letting her die, 20 more would live. I can't do that. And I don't think mankind would want me to. I don't think they think that way. Esperanza, name means hope, and hope is something humanity cherishes. Ask a mother to die to save her child, she'll do it. Ask her to let her child die to save the world, though. I'm sorry, Ariane. Even if I believed your prophecy, and I do believe there's something to it, I can't give up on hope. I can't let the Esperanzas of the world fall. Faced with disaster, mankind doesn't surrender. They fight. They'll find a way. I'll fight to the death to help find that way, but I won't quit.
Yep, that works. I love that. There you go.
I understand. I knew it'd be this way, but I had to give you a chance. So let us begin. And if you feel the spell around you, Superman, worming its way into your brain, into your mind, you had the chance to do as I asked. Now you will do as I bid in minutes. My spell will devour your prodigious will, and you'll become my puppet, my slave. You'll be a surgical instrument, destroying all alien intruders on Earth. So basically trying to take over him.
I like that. That's interesting.
Nearly done.
It's a good story. Jeez.
Yeah, then we have Squad K. Meanwhile, we have Prankster dealing with something, and he decides to take an opportunity to put his own pranks going on. Now, up at this point, Prankster has not been apprehended. He's been able to be one step ahead because he always planned well ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Arian is trying to deal with him, and Superman's struggling. Like, oh my sweet lord, he got him. Superman say that guy wants to kill us all. Meanwhile, over there, they're picking up on the action, hitting it out there. Again, he's trying to fight it off. And we have this Squad K showing up. Who are they? Just another group of potential villains that Busiek was trying to create. Basically, they're there to try and deal with Superman, and they're trying to deal with Aaron as well. And stopping them all, and oh boy, yeah, putting up a good fight against them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But then that's when the prankster tries to make his big move with the pie.
Oh boy,
it was an improv. It was an improv bit. Mm-hmm. That line flakes.
That's such a kick-ass shot of the League.
Oh yeah, it is. It is, and the society.
And the society. Yeah. Okay. Again, there you go.
Yep. A second. So I just got a notification. I mean, it was nothing. But yeah, so they stop and he calms down everything, and then Arion is ready to summon his where his a hidden location down below. Mm-hmm. Now we see that some of the new gods are there, invisible, following him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a government anti-Superman squad.
Oh, okay. Then the whole K squad makes sense.
Yep. But basically, of course, basically something. I mean, Arion is causing all these type of anti-Superman stuff to come out of the woodwork. Even Batman is just by control, like starting to find other fail safes. Why at that moment? Who could say? But at the same time, like he talks the guy down. The guy said, like, "Call me Percy. I'd like to have met you under friendlier circumstances, but we don't always get what we want. You appear to be in your right mind and under control." So basically, in other words, Superman did a lot more when he was almost under control. And they basically tried to, it was a case of trying to stop Superman before he got out of hand, like what Maxwell Lord had tried to do.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, though. They all come out because they feel like, oh crap, hurry, hurry. Like, do it now, kick in the caboose and everything before it gets worse.
That's realistically what the government would do. So there you go.
Okay, had strict orders to move in and put you down if there's any indication you become a menace. All this, you just wait around in case I get possessed or corrupted. Believe me, we just as soon never be called into action. We burn close to $1 million a second when we go all out. Yeah. Our weapon tech isn't cheap, and still all we do was slow you down a little. I see. And now you'll report back to your superiors, I suspect, and have them spend billions more on improving your arsenal just in case. Nothing personal. I'm a big fan. I hope you understand. It wasn't exactly a pleasure, but good to meet you, Colonel. I do understand. I don't like it, but I've been mind controlled enough to know that it could be necessary. So, but yeah, then he finally finds the prankster. Why? Because when you improvise, you make more mistakes than when you make a big plan. Mm-hmm. So he botched it. Improv is the improv. He was able to get caught finally. Mm-hmm. So now he's going to go and deal with Arion finally.
Oh, sweet. Let's go.
Yep. I don't have the issues with me. I think that that's not. Oh, look at this. Rick Leonardi. It was a story about Jimmy when he first met Superman. Also, we get issue 666.
Oh boy.
With Walt Simonson on artwork.
Of course they do a demonic possession one for issue 666.
Hey, there you go. Hey, they did that similar with Batman.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, yeah, there is one more issue. And Subject 17 comes back.
Ooh.
So yeah, he's trying to find him. We did see a bit with him and Zatanna as Arion is just taunting him. You can see why I'm having I really gotta breathe through it, but you can already see it's pretty much it's spinning its wheels a little bit.
And there's honestly you can make the argument that there's too much dialogue.
Yeah. Oh boy, bing bong.
Oh boy, yeah, there you go. Someone's over exaggerating, but this is comic books after all.
It looks like she's actually wearing more of a corset.
Yeah.
So I think that's yep. Looks more like she has a corset on.
There you go.
Superman. Unfortunately, because people are now starting to feel this is all Arion's doing to try and, drive them to make his point. He's trying to cause it sooner. It's that whole notion of, fine, I'll cause it just to make my point. And then unfortunately, Subject 17, Arion has tasked him. He knows where he is. But unlike Superman, he basically, Subject 17 agrees, like, let humanity burn. So who better for Superman to have this fight?
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? And thus, leads to a big fight. And because he beat him up, he gives him the location. You value their garbage over me. Aww. You feel bad for Subject 17. He didn't ask for this. He didn't deserve this.
No. He was just tortured.
Yep. So he heads over there and he can't get through because of magic. So what does he do? Spins around and around and makes a whirlpool to bring all of the ground and water down onto him.
Wow, that is badass. I love when writers make really creative use of Superman's powers.
Yep. Basically, all of this is, let's be honest, the decision and the ending already happened. This is all the postscript. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see him meeting up with, he's even asking the fam stranger to tell him if Kipper is alive or not. As far as he shows, again, he's dead. Mm-hmm. He's doing everything he can to see that Arion is wrong. So yeah, he's actually destroying so much of it. Everything's just going down. And then what does he do? He does a big spell using all these artifacts and everything to create these creatures. All the while, then, yeah, everyone's trying to deal with what's going on. She's going out to go get the story and everything. Now, unfortunately, these were the kids, those kids that followed.
Mm-hmm.
He transformed them and himself into this Cthulian creature. Shall we settle this?
So you could say it's the doom that came to Metropolis.
Something like that. But yeah, he's trying to stop them. Like, you're leading them to their own extinction. But I don't think so. Humanity's tougher than you know, Ariane. They can fight. They can find a way. And me, well, damn, I'm tougher than you. You know, and then
I love Busiek writing Superman. Jeez, this dude gets the character really well.
He does. Damn you. Damn you. It turned out he collected all of his rings that he used for his magic. That was thanks to what he learned from Zatanna.
I just love it when characters can make Superman look bad, when writers can make Superman look badass, and this guy is doing it right here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. But yeah, all the spells are collapsing. Those kids are returned back to normal. He finds who he thinks is Ariane. It's the other guy, but he didn't know.
Okay.
So Ariane left the other there to take the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Ariane then arrives back at everything, and he's like, so they locked me up, do they? Well, let them. Because, yeah, basically the guy, as far as they think it's him.
Mm-hmm.
The sky spell will make and will continue on. Leaving me free to act. But to do what? That alien fool is right, I suppose. Mankind will not surrender to fate, even if it is their only hope. But the doom is real. The doom is real. There's something I can still do. We see then, like basically Lana figured out a way to make money by showcasing and recording everything and be able to send it out to the news. Using all their cameras that were designed to follow Superman.
Mm-hmm.
That Lex had created.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yep. But turn out Prankster got out. Like, Mama, Lois, there he is. Look. Like, easy, Chris. I can't exactly leap tall buildings, That tiny speck's him.
By the way, those K-Squad soldiers look a lot like parademons.
They do. But yeah, he's hearing all of them, and I smile at the very sound of their heartbeats. And I'm about to bank over to join them, but there's a lot to think about. The danger that might be coming and how best to be on guard against them, whether I'm stopping the threat or helping cause it, how to even tell the difference. There's a lot to think about. In the meantime, though, sorry for the trouble, ma'am. You're okay? Yes, there's a lot I can't do. A lot I'll never know. But I'll do what I can and hope to help mankind find a way to solve their other problems, whatever comes, whether I come of them on one of them or not. And if Ariane's prophecy becomes more than possibilities and the future he foretold begins to happen, I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, if I ever do. Unfortunately, it turned out Kibber is brought back to life.
Because it's DC and no one ever stays dead.
Well, no. Well, to be fair, we never saw him die. This is more of a case where it lulled Superman into a false sense of security.
Okay.
This is what was always... we never see him die. We just knew, he's dead. He's been dead. Yeah, that didn't stop him.
Okay, that makes sense.
So in other words, it's saying, will what Aaron predicted come to pass?
That's why it's like the end question mark. But I love how on the previous page, when you see the moon, there's an S on the moon.
Yep. And then we get some behind the scenes, stuff with Kibber and everything. I love this backup story with Phoebe and Nicieza. Just them going on this little story that gives them all ability to fly. That's
interesting. I didn't know that they wrote that. And a lot happened in that Chris arc of Superman. Jeez.
Yep. So yeah.
That was awesome.
So what did you see about that overall story? See what I mean? It's good, but it's frustrating when you realize what it's telling.
Yeah, and it's a little too wordy, but I will say the action was unreal.
The artwork,
really, the artwork, like, my God, that is so good.
And seriously, Busiek and Johns were the perfect tag team.
Yes, 100%. Those two guys know how to write Superman and write him well, because he's a
Lois.
He is a hard character to write.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep bringing that up. I'm sorry. This was Lois at her best for me. This is what got me to love Lois. Was this era?
Fair enough.
Can you understand why?
I can understand why.
Look from up, up and away. Look at from up, up and away, all the way until the end of this run, which was reading into New Krypton.
Yep, it's all good. More power to you, dude. More power to you, dude.
I know, but Arian was an ass.
Yeah, he was a tad annoying at times. So I'm like, okay, but that's one of the villains where I'm like, that's interesting. He kind of does have a point.
He does have a point. And again, the whole pushback, the whole recoil and everything, it makes sense. I think this is one of the better handlings of the whole. In helping humanity, you doom it to get worse. I do, in principle, that's a good, execution of it.
And I just love how, despite everything, Superman's like, no, I still have to have hope for the future, because hope in Superman. That's Superman. So I'm like, yeah.
The fact that we had to literally have a kid named Hope, whose name means Hope, I think was a little on the nose.
That was a little bit like, this is a little heavy-handed, Busiek, but
Busiek.
Yeah, Busiek. Besides that, I love this.
Oh yeah, and again, just so damn good. Just so much of this just built up very well throughout all of this. And again,
epic story, like
epic. Is. And even that dark future, that was a bad future. And then, you understand why? What led to it? Superman's own actions caused it.
Nice. Yeah, I know. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and the fact that he just because he couldn't kill, he would choose not to kill Kibber. That's what led to it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, where it shows that, yeah, dude, you can have all these principles, but there are still consequences to those principles.
Exactly. There are always going to be consequences to those principles. And again, the artwork by this was really good. And I do like how even you have Jimmy being his biggest supporter, but I also did like how Perry, he didn't go full on Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
But he's making a good point too. Like Lois said, you both make good points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they both do. But ultimately, obviously, we know as Superman fans that Superman's not going to retire because they need to write Superman.
That's the annoying part of this. That's the annoying thing about this. You get why Busiek wanted to tell this, but it's going to be like, dude, you're not going to have Superman give up. So why?
It's like if you're trying to tell like a story in the past, and you're like, will Superman win? Oh, yeah, he does, because we know where he is right now. There's no stakes.
Exactly. Now that they pull a trick and reveal, turns out he did lose, but no one has memories that he lost. Not that he died, but that he lost the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a consequence, but we don't know about the consequence because it got erased.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, and now did it deserve to be this long? No.
No. Hell no. You could have like scrunched this down a couple of issues, I think.
Yeah, like the New Gods and Squad K. I mean, I get the point. The Squad K issue made more sense than the New Gods issue.
Yeah, the New Gods issue was like, and the New Gods are here as well. And
I mean, granted, it was to show the notion from Arian of these godlike beings who just look at humanity as plaything. But it's like, isn't that how Arian's looking at humanity anyway?
Yeah. So you already have that perspective. Yeah, the K Squad makes sense because he says, hey, we're just here in case we ever need to take you down for any reason.
Although, to be fair, they bring that up, though, during the Superman Batman, when he's trying to get rid of the Kryptonite arc.
Mm-hmm.
They have that, and in that case, Superman feels it's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Amanda Waller's in charge of that department, so of course you're not going to trust him with walls and balls.
Yeah.
But again, overall, it was a very lengthy, but again, some of the best writing. This era, again, I adore.
This era of Superman is really good.
It really is. And again, you had Superman, you got Jeff Johns and Kurt writing it. I want Kurt to come back and write Superman again. He gets it.
I would be 100% down with that. Busiek's always been like one of my favorite writers for DC because like he gets the grandeur of these characters, but he can still make it so these characters are relatable. Because that's the problem with having characters that are like gods amongst men, is that you don't want them to feel too detached from humanity. Busiek and Johns get how to write them so they still feel like us, but with God power.
Except for Johns with Wonder Woman. What, for some reason he can't bring that to Wonder Woman.
True.
Because he keeps on thinking she needs to be brought down when she never needed to be brought down.
Yeah, that's true. That's the one part where I think John's really screwed up, because it's like
that one line in Infinite Crisis. You can stop by trying to be so damn perfect. Diana was never trying to be perfect. Hell, she worked at a fast food joint once.
She worked at a boutique clothing store once.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I still remember post Infinite Crisis. There was a bit where I think it was the writer Jodi Picoult was writing her, and they basically wrote Diana like she just got off the island, because to the point where she doesn't know how to pump gas. It's like, okay, Jodi.
I think she's pumped gas before. I get what they're going for. Like, she's been so like detached from humanity because she's a goddess that she doesn't know how to do all this stuff. But
she worked at a fast food restaurant.
I know. That's why it doesn't work. I mean, what I'm saying is I get the reasoning. It's stupid reasoning because we have previous stories for this.
You think editorial would have told her, like,
Actually, but you think editorial really cares, Robert?
True. By the way, one thing I did also like was we knew Jeff Johns was going to bring back Kandor. But there was a post-crisis Kandor that existed that wasn't Kryptonian. So Busiek is the one who handled it. We would see that in the third Kryptonian arc, where the dimensional Bottle City of Kandor, it's taken off the board. Seemingly destroyed and unfortunately never resolved.
Yep.
Why? Because they had to focus on Krypton. I knew Krypton.
There you go.
But yeah, so what would you rate this story? As for 10 out of 10?
Writing is solid, except for a little wordy, but I'm willing to excuse it because it's good writing. If it's a lot of bad writing, then I take off points. But since it's good, I could ignore that. And the art is 11 out of 10. It's that good, because wow.
Rest in peace, Pacheco. Rest in peace.
The way he draws like Metropolis, where it's completely wrecked, half of it is like falling, and I'm like, that is so cool.
Yeah, I know, but you can see why hence the delays. You get why there were delays.
Yeah, when you get this product, just like, okay, I get it. I'm fine with that.
But does it make you want to go and read it so you can actually see what I skipped over?
Well, I'm going to buy this. I'm 100%.
There's the hardcover.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely buying this.
Yeah, awesome. So, yeah, thank you for joining me on this one, Jared. Thank you all for sticking around, and we'll see you all on the next one. Take care.